This week, we're going to be learning about the theater works of the Renaissance era. We'll explore both the religious dramas of the late medieval era, as well as some of the works that you might be more familiar with already, like Shakespeare's Macbeth. We'll consider the way that theater showed up in the lives of those living during the Renaissance, as well as the role it played in expressing and continuing the ideals and the values of the time. So what I want you to do is consider the key elements of theater that Rhett talks about: plot, character, thought, language, music, spectacle. What can you spot and identify in the works we're looking at this week? What role does conflict play in the work? Why is it so important? In what way are the actors, audience, time, space, body, and conflict engaged in? Work to grab onto those key elements and aspects of the works themselves and investigate how they work together or create tension in the theatrical work. I'm not going to ask you to watch Macbeth 3 times like I asked you to listen to some of the music compositions 3 times, but I am going to encourage you to pause while you're watching and engaging with the theater so that you have time to both enjoy the work and also take a break and think about where you see those key elements showing up and what they mean for the work and how they're reflecting the ideals of the time. As you enjoy the theater this week, I want you to specifically consider the idea of patronage as well as intended audience. Who created the work and who commissioned the work, and who was the work created or intended for? That is, who is the audience meant to be? So think about closet dramas and the intended audience of those, a small group of friends or family, versus larger works that were maybe created or commissioned specifically for a king or a queen. How is the intended audience giving us insight into what truth was being shown or expressed and what was considered beautiful to those particular groups of people, even within one same time period? How does patronage or commission play into the way that arts are engaged with today? Do you know? Have you observed? How is it different? How is it similar? What way do the rules of the time for theater guide and direct the works? How do these guidelines play into or give light to the values and ideals of the time? Have components of verisimilitude shaped the way works are created today? And in what ways? What are your thoughts on verisimilitude and the way that the theater went about trying to create a reality or a believable reality? The rules that went along with that during that time. What do those rules tell us about the values of those people and what was important and what boundaries they had in the arts? And consider what kinds of boundaries and rules we have in our own works today, in theater or in TV shows or movies and all those kinds of things. The verisimilitude theaters.